What's shaking, everyone? Andrew Reiner here with another episode of Game Informer's replay. Actually, I'm going to say this is Kimberly Wallace's replay. We're going to shut up and just let you talk.
Kingdom Hearts replay.
You just reviewed
It's my Kingdom Hearts party.
3, which is, I think, the closest video game critics get to doing rocket science, figuring out that mess of a game and its lore. Leo Vader's here.
Hello, thank you.
And on the sticks, we got Ben Reeves.
It's an honor to be here.
Hey.
We're playing Dream Drop Distance, which, Kim, what the hell is this one?
This is right before the events of Kingdom Hearts 3. Sora and Riku are taking their Mark of Mastery exam.
Right.
And so you're going through all the stages and seeing... Ultimately, we know Sora fails, and that's why he starts Kingdom Hearts 3 without his power. He's not as powerful as usual. Although you wouldn't know that from the attractions he can wield and everything else within the beginning of the game. But.
So even though this leads into Kingdom Hearts 3, this is not 2.8 final chapter prologue.
No, well, so then there's the Aqua episode, which was supposed to be like a little hint of what she's been going through in the realm of darkness, because she's been trapped in there because she sacrificed herself for Terra. How do I know all this and keep it straight?
That's what I'm saying. It's rocket science.
It's
impressive.
It's honestly, I was talking actually at lunch about this, that like it makes sense in my head, but whenever I go to speak out loud to explain it to people, I'm just like, there is no good way to explain this unless you've seen it and experienced it.
Oh my gosh, look at this.
Pooland. Oh no, this is the island.
100 Acre Woods? No, it's not.
Nomura. Ow!
Look at, there he is.
We gotta thank them.
Hey,
Ty is great,
Bethesda, Pink. They took it from Kingdom Hearts.
Wow.
Boo.
Yeah, throwing shade at Far Cry, and you know what? Here it is.
Here it is.
The origin.
Oh, they stole it first. So, wait, was this...
This was a 3DS game.
I was
the
just going to say,
beginning
this looks
of-
really good for a 3DS game.
Well, they then put it on. This actually, so they said took them a lot more effort than they thought it was going to, which like people got mad at because obviously we just wanted Kingdom Hearts 3. And it was just like another barrier to that people saw. But I think it was important to like lead into this. But yes, it was originally a 3DS game. And I'm so glad that you can play it on PS4 now because it's not as great to go back to on the 3DS.
So I wanted to do this game, or a Kingdom Hearts game in general, as a replay for one specific purpose, and that is there's a lot of people that want to play Kingdom Hearts 3. They have not played the Kingdom Hearts games before. They see it as a daunting task to go back to these collections.
Oh, yeah, I hear you.
And piece all these, this huge puzzle together. I want you to kind of walk them through what they're going to miss out on if they do go into 3. Like,
oh, wow.
You said in your review that, not the lore bits, but what is going to confuse them specifically?
There's a lot of... So, I was talking about this. Actually, we streamed this morning some Kingdom Hearts 3, and Organization 13, you should know who they are. That's in 358 over 2. I always get that wrong, but it's
Ben's face just broke when you said that sentence, by the way.
It's a 3DS game that like you can just watch now.
Can you do like a 30-second or less recap?
Oh gosh. This is what I tell everybody. I go, at the end of the day, it comes down to this is a battle between light and darkness in the simplest form that I can say it.
Mickey's
and
dark.
There are alternate realities, and this game is where stuff gets really crazy because then they introduce time travel.
In this game we're playing right now?
Yes, this is the one where people are like, oh man, anything is possible.
Does Dream Drop Distance mean anything?
Yes, because you can drop into between Sora and Riku. So you are playing both of them as they're playing their Mark of Mastery exam. It's a mechanic people didn't like because you get so much time and then you swap to the other character. So say you're involved in like a platforming sequence
I hadn't even started the game yet? Oh my god. Okay.
Get ready for
Here we
it,
go.
Ben. Get
Proud
ready.
mode.
Vibration settings, sure.
Proud mode's not even the hardest.
Yeah, leave those
difficulty.
on.
These look good, right?
Yep.
Great. So by the end of this episode, everyone will be fully caught up on Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, we just saw that video that kind of caught us all up, so...
Yeah, it's got Donald Duck,
yeah,
That's all I care about.
Tetris pieces.
Oh yeah, these guys are important for 3. So the scientists.
Now, I know it's an impossible task for you to put yourself into the shoes of someone that hasn't experienced all this stuff,
Yeah.
that has this huge load of Disney and Nomura stuff in your head. But, I mean, is it still going to be fun for me to play? Or am I going to go in and just be confused immediately, like I'm on the chapter
No,
57 of a
you're not.
100-page or 100-chapter book?
You will not be confused immediately because it's, like I said, every world has their own self-contained story, and then
It really builds up to the
inserts-
confusion.
and inserts in the Kingdom Hearts stuff. What I will say is, as I was playing, part of me was thinking like, oh, that's really cool that that character showed up. But if I didn't play the old 3DS games, I'd have no idea what they were talking about. And I tried to put myself in someone's shoes who wouldn't have dealt with that. And I will say, you will get the full, this game is really geared towards, like, anybody can play it, but it is for the hardcore fans as a way to, like, who have been following this narrative now since, 2002?
Oh, no.
It's a long
first
haul.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm impressed with how well Nomura just like implemented all these loose ends and wrapped them up into Kingdom Hearts 3. So what I would say is you definitely should play Birth by Sleep. You should play Dream Drop Distance. You should at least watch the movie on 358. And
Do I need this? Can I skip it?
well, let's just see what happens.
I can't do anything.
And like Chain of Memories, you should watch some stuff. I would say Chain of Memories is kind of that one that's hazy because it does involve characters that do show up in 3, but they're not what I would say like the characters you need to know. Like you should know Aqua Terra Ventus, which is Birth by Sleep.
Okay, so you're saying absolutely buy the Kingdom Hearts HD 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue Collection for PS4?
Oh, no.
Is that what you're saying? Because this says Birth by Sleep and Kingdom Hearts Dream Drop Distance and back cover on it?
Yeah. Yes. This is...
So this is
does
essential.
that one have Birth by Sleep in it?
It does. Oh, it says
No,
Kingdom
that-
Hearts
that's on the
point
Aqua
two
chapter.
Birth by Sleep. I'm
No,
not
that's-
trying to make fun of it,
No,
but it says
I'm
Kingdom
saying
Hearts point
no.
two
It's
Birth
an
by Sleep.
extra, so it's actually 2.5 that is Birth by Sleep. That just has a special episode of Aqua from the events after Birth by Sleep, where you get kind of a taste of what the gameplay is going to be like in Kingdom Hearts 3. There's a collection with all
Everything?
of these put together, yeah, and you should just get that.
How many hours do you think that is to catch up
Jesus,
to Kingdom Hearts 3?
man, it's
I mean,
a
you're
lot.
talking like your entire 2019 for a lot of players.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm saying you can still enjoy the plot without having this stuff. You are just missing out on part of what makes it that experience so exciting. Like when the character pops up that you're like, oh man, I've been sitting here wondering what happened to them, or like a group reunites and you're like, oh yes, finally, like this is what I've been waiting for. And then seeing where they go. So you're missing out on that. But if you don't want the time investment and you want to just like have fun in Disney worlds, and you can still understand the basics of the narrative, but like I said, you're just not going to get the full impact of those like who, like me, who've played every entry because I clearly have a lot of time on my hands, and then replayed like half of them. Well, I couldn't even remember some of this stuff, so I just actually, before Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, I made sure to replay Dream Drop Distance, and I replayed Birth by Sleep because I was just like, I just want a refresher to make sure I'm not forgetting anything.
Kim, I have a very important question.
Oh boy.
Did they ever explain why Sora wears 15 size shoes? Because those look
do you ever see his
ridiculous.
barefoot feet?
I mean, he's trying to like
Look at
imitate
those.
Mickey, obviously.
Or is he like a hobbit?
Or is he part Mickey?
Oh. What if he is?
He pulls off a lot of zippers.
Was his father Mickey and his mother was a hobbit?
Wow.
I think it's all
Kim,
coming
confirm or
together.
deny?
I don't know.
Do we need to play Birth by Sleep
No spoilers.
to know?
I have a funny story from yesterday, but I don't know if I should share it. But we were talking about like Sora, and I'm like, Sora, like, because they're like, oh, there's no romance in the game. And I'm like, yeah, Sora doesn't really like have anything like that. And I was like, wait a second, no, because he has that special bond with Kairi. I'm like, but they only hold hands, never kiss.
Okay.
Good.
Aren't they supposed to be like 13 or something?
I guess they've aged a little. You kissed when you were 13, right?
Nope, can't be done.
No, it's impossible. Yeah.
Lord knows I tried. It must be impossible because I couldn't
Magnetic
do
poles.
it. Is the Rocketeer in Kingdom Hearts 3?
No.
Kingdom Hearts 3? We're getting those questions?
I have
You
a
ride
story.
on a rocket. That's with Buzz and Woody. That's probably as close as you get.
Okay, that's so
You're
much.
basically there.
If I play Kingdom Hearts 3, just without any knowledge of anything else that's out there, is it going to be a game where I'm like, okay, I can go back and fill in the pieces? Or is it just like, are you just kind of done with that one and you move on?
Should I skip this so we can see more action?
Yeah, go ahead and skip it.
Oh, look at all I got.
Gosh, it's so tough to say on this stuff. I think that you're not going to understand what certain characters mean and what their role really is. I don't think that is, some of them are really that important, except to understand that they are obviously bad, and the game kind of tries to explain and makes that apparent. Like I said, you will not get the impact of, oh, I've been following that thread forever,
Right.
and now I finally have a solution. That's all, like, that's what it really comes down to. And I tell people, like, I think you can still enjoy it. I just don't think it's the best starting point that you could do, but, you know.
And that's no fault to Square or Nomura or anybody. I mean, this is a long-running series, right? Like, yes, you know, you could look at other franchises that kind of gave you a fresh starting point, like Star Wars with Episode 7 and stuff like that. But there's still a lot of characters that you meet along the way that you need to have knowledge of, like Han Solo and stuff like that.
Exactly. That's
Kingdom Hearts is kind of the same thing. I know a lot of people end up making fun of it because it was everywhere, right? Like on every system, and the titles didn't make any sense. And then it had all those Disney worlds kind of thrown in.
Did it too with some of the stuff, like I said, the alternate realities, the time travel, a little much. But
I have a follow-up question.
oh wow, here we go.
Is Chicken Little in Kingdom Hearts 3?
Not in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Was that a Disney movie?
Yep,
Yeah.
2005.
He was in a different Kingdom Hearts game.
Really?
God, I can't remember off the top of my head right now, but I know they did do something with Chicken Little.
Did they get Zach Braff to voice him?
I don't know.
Did they add Star Wars? Don't answer that question.
That would be my dream come true, right?
They didn't.
I mean, the game got a 9.5. Why do you think it got a 9.5? Because it did have Star Wars? Because it didn't.
Oh. Like it could be a 10 if it had Star Wars.
It could, or
Or it could have been a 9.
it
Wait,
got
he's dream
bumped up.
dropping. I get it now.
This is Traverse Town. Hey, what's with my clothes? Must be more of Master Yen Sid's magic.
Them shoes.
It's Haley Joel Osment again, right?
Yep.
Do you think he's got more money from Kingdom Hearts now or from, like, anything else? Sixth
Good
Sense.
question. It's a career now.
Yeah,
He's been playing Sora his whole life.
he basically is.
Yeah, do you think when he signed up for that role, he knew that he was going to be involved with this, like, close to 2 decades later?
When his parents signed him up for that role.
Yeah, it's like,
Here's a better question. If Nomura came to him and was like, hey, you're going to be a mermaid that's going to have to sing some famous Disney songs. Do you want this role? Do you think he would have said no?
How do you know
yes.
I bet he signed that contract before that little information was divulged.
This is really cool right here because they brought in The World Ends With You, which is another Square property.
That's awesome.
really
Oh,
popular.
really?
Oh, that's cool.
This game, I can't afford to lose.
I think that might be a little bit of the disappointment with 3 is it really dials back on the Final Fantasy side of it and also like other Square properties being involved in it.
Because it was 2 they brought in like Sephiroth and Cloud and
Yeah.
a bunch of those characters, right?
And it's very minimal. I want to like set expectations on that. It's not to the point where it made me upset or anything because like the series has been gradually moving away. But this was cool to have in Dream Drop Distance, which is like you're talking with Neku right now.
They've got the music and everything.
Yep.
Cool. Lead the way.
Oh, I
Do you
wanna
think
just
the
dance.
series has enough original characters that it could move away from having cameos in other Square and Disney things and just be its own thing?
I think 3 is actually where they try to see if that will work or not. And I know there's already people expressing some disappointment in that, but I would say play the game before you make that decision. In my opinion, they don't need to at this point. I wasn't like sitting there like, ooh, I really miss Cloud showing up here.
Right.
I mean, that was part of the hook was just like, oh,
Yeah.
this is cool. I'm in the Tron world now.
Yeah,
There we go.
exactly. And Nomura even said like he felt pressure in the beginning, obviously, to include the Final Fantasy characters. And I think now he finally feels like he doesn't want to shoehorn them in. And I totally get that.
I would say for Kingdom Hearts 4, go for it. Like, I mean, we've been to Pirates how many times? I mean, there's
yeah.
always a new Disney movie you
Well,
could go
they made
to.
Pirates much better in 3 because you get to do ship battles. But yes.
Kim? Leo Vader here from the booth. I'm wondering if Honey, I Shrunk the Kids is in it?
Sadly, no.
Dang it.
But I do. They could go more live action if they wanted to.
They could.
And actually, like Pirates, was their first attempt at doing it on the new hardware, obviously. Because last time we saw is PS2, and so imagine like how things have changed since then.
Photorealistic graphics now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is super sharp. I love the art style that they've always had in this series.
I'm surprised how good this looks, honestly.
Yeah.
Knowing it's a DS.
Yeah,
remake
no, they
going
put a
in.
lot
the
of
crazy
effort
thing.
into making this work for the PS4. So
Is
at
Ben
that.
supposed to go somewhere?
yes, he's going the wrong. Well, he's going the right way now. He was going the wrong way. So go.
Oh, I
up
didn't
through
see.
there.
This is all locked. Do I need to save?
Oh, wherever it says question mark, question mark, question mark, you should go
What?
in there.
Do I need to do this?
Yeah.
Tell me what to do.
You should do it.
Oh man, people hate when we look at tutorials, but then they hate when we don't know what
Exactly.
to do
You can't
because
win.
there's no winning. Oh gosh, so this is harder, I would say, on PS4 than the 3DS version. But you know what? A lot of people did not play the 3DS version as much because of the fact that the series started on PlayStation 2, and that's where a lot of people wanted to play the game.
Yeah, I really enjoyed 1 and 2, and I fell off on DS, the card game. That was kind of retelling.
A Chain of Memories.
Yeah,
yes,
it was
a
retelling
Game
a lot
Boy
of the-
Advance game that they
Yeah.
then put. Yeah,
I was like, okay. But I should have stuck with it.
I spent my time playing through that game, and maybe it's just me, but I found only very little that it contributed to the story for me. Because Recoded kind of does some rehash of some of that too. And wait, let me be clear too. When you play Kingdom Hearts 3, there are actually little videos you can watch that summarize everything that's happened. Like, it will not be the same as if you played all the games, but at least you have some little catch up that you can do. So that's the memory archive that you open
I
immediately.
didn't catch your name.
And the thing I always hear from
That's a weird name.
Kingdom Hearts fans, hardcore Kingdom Hearts fans, is it is that unique content that they've latched onto. It's not anything Disney or Final Fantasy. As much as they like those little cameos, it is the core story that's being
Oh,
told.
yeah.
So that's why I say, I know people are probably like, blasphemy, you got to have all this stuff still in there. And yeah, maybe that is the true, pure Kingdom Hearts experience, having all of that. But it always seems like when I played the first two games, you would have that moment where you go to a new world and the story kind of freezes for a minute to tell that Disney story.
Yeah,
There's some bleed of the Kingdom Hearts
for
stuff going
3,
on.
they did better at combining, like,
Okay, cool.
doing the story that goes with the world, but also having characters come in that are advancing the story and relate to it, which is what I really appreciated. But no, I totally get what you're talking about. Actually, what was funny was I walked in the office yesterday and I was talking to people about the game, and I was just like, yeah, the Final Fantasy stuff is very minimal. And when I was talking to them about the people who hadn't played it since 2, they were like, oh my God, you're kidding me, right? Like, that's a big deal. And to me, because I've been playing these and they've been moving away, I was just like, I guess it didn't feel that way to me. So I'm pretty sure that's kind of probably where other fans stand on it, is that they've just done so many other plot points at this point that it is not just a spin-off of, meshing Final Fantasy with Disney anymore. Like, that's just...
It's not what it is.
Yeah.
I'm getting him.
And you have to wonder on the development side if they're like, we put ourselves in a really rough spot. Mm-hmm. To really tell the story we want to, we have to make concessions here, but the fan base might not like that.
It is crazy when you think of how these games come together, because in the last 2-3 years, I've had so many interviews with Nomura. So I've asked him from everything from how do they decide how to make the Keyblades to what is the approval process like with Disney, and how do you know when you're setting up the story that you're gonna get this world? And he's like, oh, I don't even write that part of the story until the world is confirmed. And he's like, and I'm like, well, how soon in advance do you get the world confirmed? He's like, well, they kind of just roll in as we're developing the game. And I can't imagine and it comes together so well though, because he doesn't just, I think in past entries you could notice this is purely him working on this Disney world and telling retelling that story. And in 3, the way that other characters come into those worlds and mesh with it, it's just you did that with such short notice, just knowing. I'm sure he knew where he was going with stuff, don't get me wrong, because he's had a lot of time to think about it. But
has he been the director and writer on all of them, or just the core games?
It's him and Tai Yasu who've done a lot of the stuff with it. But he's the main mastermind, and he kind of decides where everything's going. And yet, he doesn't talk. If you ask him, oh, did you know where you're going when you mapped this out? He just doesn't care to talk about that stuff.
I can't imagine working on something like this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know how he keeps it straight in his mind. I don't know how he does it on the timetable that he does. And even if you talk to him, he cracks me up, because he very much will tell you, working with Pixar was a lot of back and forth, in a way that they're not used to. He said the newer properties they're much more protective of than some of the older ones, which you think it'd be maybe the opposite, because...
Well, I guess if they're planning sequels, they might not want you exploring certain things that they might be thinking about.
Well, in Toy Story, what they did with Pixar is they wanted to create a completely original story to it that involved a new location and not focusing so much on what we've done in the past. Oh boy.
Very
meow
good.
Butt.
Very good.
It should be meow wow.
Should it?
No.
Not on this show.
Yeah,
See, we saw him this morning when we were playing. If you go on the site right now, we have we live streamed us playing about 2 hours this morning.
That's right, the opening.
Yes.
And your review, 9.5 out of 10.
Yes.
I read the review. Did you mention if Air Bud is in it?
You're killing me, Leo. You really are. You have some great ideas here. You should sit down with Nomura and tell him, why aren't you using these other great properties?
That'd be a very good
So this is also something that did not translate well from the DS to the PS4. The DS wanted the touch screen of you actually petting the animals, and them playing.
You have a touchpad. Does that not work?
Yeah, it's not the same.
I guess it sort of works, but you can't move the stick. You just pet.
Yeah, it just feels like... I don't know what it is that... Because this also happens with the Fire Emblem series, that Japan likes these these weird games like this, and kind of in America we're
So the takeaway is don't play 3 if you can. Go back, spend the time on the others.
I would say it's worth it if you go back, because I found it very rewarding as someone who's followed the series. I felt like I was definitely, like I said, I was satisfied by the stuff, but I also felt like it was an extra bonus for me and Perk. And I think seeing some of these arcs and how they end, and then, like I said, there are some really cool scenes and some interesting ways that they come together, and also that they change some of these important characters' narratives, and I love it for that reason. I'm not sure if I would feel the same way, but I still think you can get the basic gist, because I'll be honest, as much as I play the heck out of this series, I sometimes have to like look stuff up, because I'm like, do I remember that character correctly? Like, for instance, in Kingdom Hearts 3, they go back to some of the Organization 13 members, and while I remembered them by like appearance, I was like, what did they do again in that? Like, what was that character's role? And then you kind of like, okay, I sort of remember that, but I don't need it to know what their intents are or what's going on here.
Well, George R.R. Martin, the writer of the Game of Thrones books, he has a group of people he goes to ask about characters he's written about, like, what were they doing? What have they done at certain points?
It's so hard. I was saying, I even can't, like, I was talking to my friends the other day. I don't know if it's like when you're younger and you're a kid, like, games just stick with you more, but I feel like the older that I get, and maybe because I play so much, that I'm just like, after a year or two, the information just doesn't feel like...
Yeah. Your brain doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't. It sucks. That's how you know you're getting old, by the way. Because
your brain doesn't work.
Your brain doesn't work. You're not as sharp as you were. But here's the thing, because people are asking me often, they're like, what's your favorite Kingdom Hearts game? And I will always go to Birth by Sleep, because that introduced Aqua, who's my favorite character. But they're also like, all right, if you had to pick between Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. 2 is the better game, but I have more of an affinity for 1, and I think it's because for some reason when I played that, like, it just sticks out more in my mind. And I go back and I play it, and I'm like, wow, why did I like looking for all this like star fruit and all that, you know, like
all the Dalmatians.
Yeah, right. It's like, why did I think this was a good, but you know, it's just the time when you play it and how you connect it in with your life, I feel like, too.
It is one of the strangest game series just because it has that Disney link to it, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's like, what separates these games? Like, this is a side game instead of, like, why wasn't this 3? And then the one that just came out 4, you know?
Does
that make sense?
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying, because I don't even feel like when I was writing my review, I steered away from calling them spin-offs or side entries, really, because
they're full games, right?
Yeah,
like,
they're with
games.
the main plot. Like, yeah, the main plot at this point. Like, it feels weird to say that these aren't a part of the... Because if you don't know what happens in this one, you're kind of going to be lost when it happens in 3. I don't understand the numbering either for that, you know, extent. But for me, even looking at it, I was like, I can't call these side stories. Like, Birth by Sleep to me is basically as close as you get to like a full main entry.
Really?
Yeah, it feels weird to me that is sometimes called a side story.
What system was that on?
PSP.
I wonder if that's partially why it was on like a...
Well, I think so, but like, I'm glad
console?
they brought that too to the PS4, because that game, whew, so good, and not enough people got to play it if they didn't have a PSP.
How are we doing here,
Pretty
Kim?
cool.
How's Ben doing?
He's going in circles, but that.
Well, I don't know where I'm supposed to go. Does the game point you in the right direction, or is it because we...
It'll show you where you were last by you seeing that key, so you know not to go there again because you've been there. Yeah, you've been there already.
So that's what that's all about.
Actually, I missed that from the previous games. They used to do that because it is really easy to get turned around. And in 3, they go back to not really having that. And I had a few times where I was like, oh, I took a wrong turn somewhere. It's okay though, because you level up then and you get extra experience.
Yeah, Reeves is just grinding.
Now
right
he's got.
now.
That's why I
what
said
I'm
you
doing.
just look for the question mark doors,
Oh.
and then you see, like he went through the question mark doors, so you
Getting
knew
some
it wasn't
lore.
there yet.
I brought you Sora.
Oh,
We had a
no.
bargain.
Did
What's
he
the
cheat
matter,
me?
Neku?
Naku.
Oh. What are these? Is this one of the...
Organization. Yeah. Yep.
No, what?
Billy
they-
Zane was the voice of one of them, right?
Yep. They were introduced, like I said, back in that DS game.
Oh, really? They weren't in 2?
They were in 1.
Yeah,
right?
they were
the
very,
cave?
but I mean, they were more. I should say this, like
Oh.
you had a better idea of what was going on with each member and what they meant.
He's about to dream.
Otherwise,
He's
it was very
dream
cryptic.
distancing.
Well, he's going to Riku, right? His
Oh.
good friend Riku. Here he is. Here we go.
Wait, I thought Riku was the girl. Who's the girl?
No, that's Kyrie.
Oh, yeah.
An anagram.
Of course.
I will say, so I was never a huge fan of Kyrie. I felt like Aqua was one of the best female characters in the series, and I felt like they could never figure out what to do to make Kyrie interesting. I
Well,
will
she
say
was like initially like it was all about her, right? In one on the
that
island.
connection,
and,
yeah, that connection between her and Sora. And like, but she never had anything that like made her stand out besides that. And I think this entry in particular finally makes her an interesting character. And then 3 even goes further with that. And I'm so happy that they did that because I've been playing these games for so long. I'm just like, they just don't know what to do with her. And I think they finally figured it out. So I think if you play 3, you'll be quite surprised with some of the character development there.
Okay, so what could Square... They have like little video or audio text entries in 3 that can try to catch you up. Mm-hmm. What can they do to really hammer that home? Should they make like a 2-hour movie that recaps it? Maybe a Netflix
They could release it in
season with
theaters?
Morgan Freeman narrating?
I'll be honest, I watched the movies for
Congrats on the A rank. Reeves.
yeah,
thank
good job,
you.
Reeves. You
Glad
didn't
you-
get an
somebody
S rank
noticed.
though. The S is the
Am I
best.
in-
Sorry.
Better luck next time,
That's
Reeves.
disappointing.
They did
My
movies
clothes have
on
changed.
some of them for Recoded and
Yeah.
3.5.
I heard they did a Toy Story movie.
Where are you?
3.5.8, and they're boring as hell to watch. Like,
You gotta play Kingdom Hearts 3 before you watch Toy Story, or it's not gonna make any sense.
And then I think we opened a keyhole.
But what if Morgan Freeman
Is that Beauty and the
This must
Beast
be
back
one of the
there?
sleeping
was
worlds.
narrating over the top of the video footage?
I mean, he does make people
I
pay
think I would
attention.
watch
It
that.
just
Yeah.
sort of popped into
100%.
my hand when I needed it most.
I mean, he talked about penguins for like 2 hours, and people are like,
It started.
Academy Award,
They're
right?
for it. Yeah.
That's why everybody has a pet penguin these
Where's
days.
your portal? It takes something special to jump between grounds.
Now, who's
without
this?
one.
Damn
Who are
Joshua.
you?
Damn, Josh.
Damn, Joshua. What a good name.
What do you mean, portal?
Are we just skipping past the part where you tell me your name?
What?
Riku.
Hello there,
Stupid name.
Riku.
This guy is such a
Portals
jerk. I'm
are
just
like
gonna come out and
gateways
say
that
it.
link up our worlds. Apparently,
Even
the
like
world
in the
you and I
world
are
ends with
standing in
you,
right now,
it doesn't change
well,
here.
there are two copies of it.
Damn,
It's
Joshua.
been sort of split in half. Portals
Why
are
you
like-
gotta think you all witty?
Reeves, like, I don't care about this guy.
We're done. We're done with that guy.
So like Kingdom Hearts is known for these little challenges with different levels, and that's what they're showing here is like if you unlock one of those, whoa,
All right, I can fling this.
fling it.
Score!
Sometimes it'll be like kill this amount of people, like it's up top there, in like a certain amount of time,
Oh,
or
these are-
don't get hit more than 3 times. So it's really just rewarding people who are good with the battle system. I'm
like
very
these
proud of
enemies.
your blocking skills there, Reeves. That was good.
Just trying. Let me see.
Hey,
Will this work?
Dream dropping.
Yeah, look at
Oh
this.
my
He's
gosh.
dropping it.
I just dropped.
Drop it like it's hot.
Oh, now
man.
you're overdoing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but look how cool it is.
Just do that every time.
I should.
Reeves
do
is
that.
an all-star right now.
Hey, now.
And what weapon do you have in your hand now? cool.
Sword?
Keyblade.
Yeah.
Ring sword? That's
It's
a
not a
keyblade?
key.
Doesn't look like a key at all. Trust me, I've seen them.
I'm no Kingdom Hearts expert,
See?
but I am
Kim,
a
do
key
you-
expert.
Do you have a
Do I wanna
life-size
open this?
Keyblade?
No, and I'm upset about it. I just want to. So, one of my friends was looking at. My birthday was coming up, so I had like a wish list on some site, and they're like, "Kim, you did not put an Aqua Keyblade on there," and I was like, "Yes, I did."
Oh, you did not?
I did not. I did.
Why don't
Oh,
they
but
ever
you
attack
did.
you?
I did, and I also put an Aqua like cosplay like coat on there. I didn't get either because I think my family is just like it's enough. They're so used to getting
It's
me Kingdom
enough.
Hearts stuff. Is like it's enough. I'll get you something different.
So I got to know, you're wearing a Kingdom Hearts leather jacket, a Kingdom Hearts t-shirt, and earlier today you were in a Kingdom Hearts snuggie. Or what do you call those things?
Snuggie.
Snuggie. It's like a blanket that you wrap yourself in.
And you even killed Dan Tack with a Keyblade this morning. You struck him down.
That's insane.
That's why we haven't seen Dan Tak. I mean,
Yeah.
he's gone. I banished him.
Yeah, it was good.
Kind of crazy how nobody complained about that or
He was
did
a-
anything.
He was a Heartless the whole time.
That's
It was
true, yeah.
Kind of unsurprising.
His family called and said thanks.
Yeah, so in this you had little spirits who can help you in battle.
Oh.
Oh, here we go. Oh,
They're your little
not enough space.
Pokemon, like, oh,
Dang.
well,
You gotta get rid of the space and just
That's
camel case it.
disappointing.
just butt it.
Just
Oh,
butt it.
I mean, he's going for it. Oh, no.
Oh, come on.
Well, hey.
Come more butts.
They
Works,
said it
man.
couldn't be done.
But hey, you made it work. It's my favorite Star Wars character, by the way.
Oh, yeah? That's a good name.
It's in the books
He's a
lot.
bat.
But I got to know, Kim, do you have like a box in your closet that says Kingdom Hearts and then another that's like Overwatch? And then you just like take all the clothes? Because you're usually like Diva in the office wearing
Yep.
jacket, shirts, like, and it's like a different outfit every day for Diva. You just
Well-
take all that stuff, put it in a box, and be like, okay, it's Kingdom Hearts time.
I'm in the middle of actually moving right now, and I'm getting in trouble for how much apparel I have of video games, especially Overwatch and Kingdom Hearts. My fiance has like one or two boxes, and we're pretty sure I'm gonna have like 8 with all my clothes. It's fine.
6 of which are Diva shirts.
I've also been banned from figures because I have too many
Oh.
Kingdom Hearts figures and Overwatch ones. You know, it's funny because I feel like Kingdom Hearts is just the happy place as a series. Like, I feel there's something positive about it, like when you're going to Disney World and
Yeah.
you feel like a kid again. And this is one of the few series that I feel like still gets me like giddy. Like, I will jump up and down, clap when I see new trailers and new things for it. I remember I got super excited when they announced the teacup attraction, and that's for 3 that you get to do, which is a really cool move. But not too many things actually get me that pumped where I'm having like a reaction like that.
I guess I never even thought about your favorite RPG series. I always just assumed like you're just huge into all Final Fantasies.
So here's
Dragon
the
Quest,
thing.
all that
People
stuff.
are always asking me to rank mine, and I have such a hard time doing it because I could say Kingdom Hearts one day, I could say Persona one day, I could go Dragon Quest.
Yeah.
Final Fantasy, obviously. Like,
Is it because some days you lie and some days you don't? Or is that why?
Some days your twin
I
sister's
just
here
think,
instead
like,
of you.
because even right now, we have something on the site that's like my top 10 games of all time from when we did the 300 issue, and you
Sure.
asked me what that list was.
Was that
I
a lie
couldn't
day?
tell you.
Yeah.
I wouldn't remember.
I'm the same way with the Zelda games. Like, they're all so good, and then I'll just look back on them fondly in different ways, and one of those other games will rise up.
Yeah. But what about Spirit Tracks?
That one is not in the conversation.
That's the one that you don't look back and like, maybe no.
Trains are
I mean, that's
cool.
how it is with like Recoded for Kingdom Hearts. That was the one that really pissed me off, that I felt was like kind of pushing that line between, oh, here's like a new entry, and here's like something that feels like a cash in almost. And that was the one that I said, like, but then stuff from that is really, they implemented it into the plot of 3, so I can't say it has no value.
So now it
but
has
when I-
value,
yeah,
right?
but when I played it, I was like, this is ridiculous.
That's
Like,
when you sent Nomura that angry letter.
I did, and that's probably why we never got a Kingdom Hearts cover.
Yeah, because of that
It
letter.
was my fault.
Yep. with a frowny face. I remember you put that together.
He's like, Kim, you cannot come to the studio. You can't even go. They would tease me at Square when we went on the Final Fantasy 15 cover story trip. They're like, what? You didn't find the secret Kingdom Hearts floor? Kingdom Hearts is in Osaka. It's not in Tokyo. So it was a total joke. But they knew I was searching and looking around for anything that I could find. I was like, oh, I see you, Kingdom Hearts.
Hole in the wall.
Is that what happened? I powered it up by hitting the electricity?
But yeah, how big? Like, it was
Yes.
just for 3. That Pixar get was just huge.
I've never tried that at
The
home.
doors that opens for even, like, I was thinking about this. Like, if they had a Kingdom Hearts 4, what worlds could they do? I was like,
Star Wars.
well, obviously, but like Inside Out.
First kid with Sinbad.
Leo with the deep Disney cut.
He is like,
I'm spacing them out.
Honey, I Shrunk the Kids would actually be really good.
It would be a fun world, you know? You'd be small in a big world.
But could you do it without Rick Moranis?
Good question.
no,
Impossible.
He is Honey.
he's Honey.
Because he kind of hung up acting altogether, right? Like he
Did
made his
he?
money and he was like, I'm out.
Yeah, we haven't heard
Yeah.
from him in a long time. Like, he did a bunch of, oh my God, he was in Little Giants. I love that movie.
He
think
went and
retired.
raised his kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, I'm going to live life the way it's meant to be.
Yeah, I think his wife passed away.
Oh.
Leo.
No, it's true. That's
It's
why.
sad.
That's why.
I
I'm sorry.
don't-
Never mind.
You're
Is
making
Flubber
me really
in it?
sad. Oh my gosh, Flubber. So yeah, this is the one that introduced flow motion, which is also in Kingdom Hearts 3.
what the heck?
So that was like Ben going around on the poles and
Running up
damaging
walls and
enemies
stuff like
that
that.
way and being able to slide up all these things. Heyo. This is actually the part. So I have a confession. I tried to play this Dream Drop Distance a few times on 3DS before I could finally get through it. And I would always get to this part and it would piss me off so much because I would just like get lost on all these different things and where they went, even though it's really not that complicated once I finally had like figured it out. But then I was just like, I don't want to do this. Like, this
Thank
is
you for finally admitting that to us. I appreciate
That's
it.
big of you.
the world needed to know, right?
Check it out here.
Sometimes I'm over it too.
What's that?
Give it the bonk.
Troubling fantasy. Well, hey. See, those are like a little bonus. Like, take no more than 2 damage. I don't think you're going to do it, Reeves.
Really? Oh, no.
Let's see.
Because I'm taking too much damage.
How many games is the Gummi Ship?
wow.
That
already-
was 2 right away.
Oh, already.
All right, Gummy. So you saw here we were doing like that dive thing where you weren't in a Gummi Ship.
Yeah.
3 brings back the Gummi Ship, which was in 1 and 2. And it is one of the most polarizing elements of this series. You either get people who are, I love that Gummi Ship, or they absolutely hate it. And I remember when I asked Nomura about it and had announced that it was coming back, whew, those comments were quite entertaining to see, just like the different perspectives and how like it's such an element that I said like is so hit or miss for people. I'm not a Gummi Ship fan and I don't like admitting that, but I like to just go from world to world, and I feel like the Gummi Ship is always an obstacle in between it.
Yeah, in the first game, it was like, I loved the idea. It was like third person, Star Fox like space combat, and you earned things along the way. And I was like, okay, this is cool, but it was so simple.
It gets a
scope.
little better in 3, especially in terms of how much you can actually customize your ship and make it feel like it's your own, and like go off the beaten path and like find these treasure spheres and all this other stuff. But I say it like, if you haven't been a fan of the Gummi Ship, I don't think you're ever going to be, even, you know, with that.
I just didn't like building my Gummi Ship. I was like, I'm done
You
with
can
that.
get blueprints and just buy them, and they're
That's the way to go.
self-built. And then you can go, like, that's what I did that for my first one, and then put all pink on it, and a big dog, and then a bunny. It's fun.
Worst elevator, that one or Citadels on Mass Effect 1?
Oh man.
Both about the same, I'm going to say. That was a long one.
Hey, Ben, good job.
Yeah.
You got through that faster than I did when I did it because I felt like I need to get every treasure chest.
Oh, well, yeah, if you do that, it'll take you forever.
I get, so I do a lot of RPG demos, obviously, and the developers are always like watching me and they're like, you don't have to get that like chest over there. You don't have to pick that up. And I'm like, nope, I don't leave anything
You see
behind.
it, you have to get it.
I have to get it. Like, that is how you play the games. Like,
So some games, Ni no Kuni, there'll be stuff that drops on the field of play. Does it absolutely just drive you bonkers if the screen like fades to black before you can pick everything up?
yes.
Because I feel that way. It's like you drop it, you give me the time. Like I should be allotted the time to get everything I need here. You cannot stop it on me.
No,
there's certain
I'm
games where
such
stuff will
a
start flashing and then
collector.
disappear.
Yeah,
it drives me bonkers.
Yeah, I can't. I need to get everything.
All right, so Kim, your final recommendation is catch up on the series,
Play fun
then
games.
play 3. But I'm going to say if you go right into 3, leave comments here on this video or hit me up on Twitter, Andrew_Reiner. I would like to hear from you. You could tag Kim as well. What's your Twitter?
K-Star1785, yeah.
But I'd like to hear your experience, like what you're feeling about the game as a
I
newcomer.
said this earlier when we live streamed, but I'll say it again here. If you play 3 and just want to like geek out with anything to me, feel free to tweet me up or be like, that was a really cool moment. Obviously, be careful of spoilers so other people don't see it.
Oh, they
but-
can still spoil the game for you?
Well,
Don't send her spoilers.
well, I'm saying other
Please.
people can see the tweets, and then it's not so fun. But
Reeves, what do you think of this here? What you played so far?
It's fine. It's
you had more fun though when you
I had
played
more fun
3
with
this
3,
morning.
honestly.
Yep.
Well, because 3 is like just insane bombastic. Like
I love it.
you're just constantly like summoning things out of
Mm-hmm.
thin air and like shooting things, and like every second is different. You know?
It
See,
moved
it's
really
gonna
quickly.
be hard if you play 3 to go back. That's what I feel like.
Okay.
because
That's what
of
I was
how-
asking earlier. Like, can you go back then and feel
You
like
can, but I feel like because 3 is like the pinnacle of everything that they've done up into this point, like it's gonna be hard to go back.
It's like going from like Super Mario Galaxy back to Super Mario 64 or something like
I
that.
was gonna take a deeper cut and say it's like going from Persona 3 to Persona 4. Like
Yeah.
4 has the better combat, like fixed all the problems with 3, so it's really hard to go back to 3. Even though 3 is still like my personal favorite and a great game, but there's something to be said about being able to control your party members that you can't do in that. And with this, I just think because of all the options you have in 3, you go back here and you just feel limited. Not that it's like the fault of 3 or anything. I think 3 does what it does very well. But yeah, it's going to be hard to...
And sorry for grilling you with all the questions, Kim, but it's
That's what
not
I'm here for.
often that we see one of the biggest games of the year come out and people feel like that they just might not have the knowledge to even understand it, right? Like that rarely happens when a lot of numbered games are kind of start from scratch, right? Like the Personas, you could just kind of jump into Final Fantasies, stuff like that.
And that's part of the pitch is you don't have to have played the other ones to get into
Yeah.
this
Yeah,
one.
we've been talking about this actually a lot in the office, and we kind of compare it to Metal Gear. I feel like that's the best way to just like a good comparison to a
Sure.
series that like you need to have followed some of the stuff. You can play them like
Yeah.
still, so but you're just not gonna get some of the stuff and some of it. How do I say this without sound? Okay, so I've tried to explain the story to friends of mine many times, and I'm just like, yeah, I know it's a little dumb. Like, it is. But even with that, like, for me, it's not so much about the story shifts. It's really what they do with the characters and what the characters kind of sacrifice and battling darkness, which I think is like, okay, it's a really like easy one-to-one theme of light versus dark.
You
but,
need
like,
to know what they went through to understand where they are now,
yes,
basically.
exactly.
Right?
Thank you.
That's the whole thing.
That's the perfect way to describe it. And you'll miss those moments, obviously. But I don't think you need them necessarily to have fun with 3. So I want to put it out there like that.
Yeah, so
but-
if you're brave, and you go into it blind on Kingdom Hearts lore, hit Kim and I up. Let us know, or leave a comment here. Let us know how that experience is going, because I really want to hear that and follow up with our viewers in a future episode just to let them know. We'll read your comments, in the show, just so we have a little bit more from people that haven't had it. Because, like I said, Kim has already. She knows everything.
I
right?
did many times when I was playing it. I was like, oh gosh, I don't know if I had no idea how this character, what they've done in the past, how I'd be able to understand this scene. There's many times I even the memory archive. I actually had watched it with somebody who hasn't played the series since the first game, just to see what their reaction would be. And I'm like, do you understand what is going on?
Oh, yeah.
Meow, wow. Okay, this we
Combat.
saw this morning actually in Kingdom Hearts 3, because he's back as a Link, quote unquote, similar to a summon.
I can't think of a better way to end the episode.
That was awesome.
That was pretty cool.
Reeves bouncing
And
on a
with
cat.
the treasure chest. So I don't have a heart attack that you're
Is it
not
a shop?
picking it up. No.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, Kim, for your knowledge of the series. Thank you all for watching. Reeves, great job on the sticks.
It was fun.
Leo Vader, hopefully recorded everything.
Is Lizzie McGuire in it?
Oh, they should do High School Musical.
Yeah.
I bet she's in it.
Let's just go through all the Disney Channel movies.
And as always, like, share, subscribe. It means the world to us if you do it. Let friends know that you enjoy the show or you found this one interesting if they're thinking of playing Kingdom Hearts 3. And again, check out our live stream of that and Kim's review on the site. We'll see you next time, everybody.
You didn't say no about Lizzie McGuire.